Thank you.
So
Yeah.
what's your most favorite thing that's happened so far? I mean, it's still early, but
I think the three people that I've listened to, Grant Williams, Rick Rule opening, the information that's coming out is everything you're talking about, Lynette. If we can just transfer that to people to understand where we're at in the trade, or not a trade, but where we're at with the gold market, everybody sees it come down to 4,000. What's going on?
right.
And they're answering all those questions. You always do it, but it's exciting to hear it reinforced by people of the stature that Rick Rule is,
Oh,
multi-billionaire,
absolutely.
right? And then Grant Williams, and then Nomi Prince was, yeah.
So excited. I'm going to be talking to her tomorrow. But, you know, the thing about Grant Williams, and he was fabulous today, and he talked about so many of the things that are actually in my presentation, but from a different angle.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be, now he may disagree with this, but I feel like it's going to be, you know, bookends, right? So he opened the whole event with that,
Right.
and then I'll close it with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been very exciting. I've had a number of people come up to me so far, giving out lots and lots of dime cards.
Yes. There was a couple right in front when we all left after Grant Williams, and they turned around and just introduced themselves to me. You guys left, and I ended up talking to them for a half an hour.
Oh,
but
good.
They're from Iowa or Kansas. I can't remember which one. Anyhow, we've got a great opportunity to show them what we do. And they're at the mining conference. Well, you know, what is a strategy? And we opened up a whole discussion on that. So it was really exciting.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what else I'm really excited about? They have two huge screens on either side of the main stage where I'll be speaking. And I'm going to tell you, with the new graphics that we've been putting out and Kelly's been animating, I cannot wait to see that on a big screen.
Yeah.
Although I'm not going to really get to see it because it'll be kind of behind me. So you'll let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be videoing.
Yep. Anything that you're particularly looking forward to? Since this is still the beginning?
Yeah, it's incredible. The first three, you know, we're halfway through the first day, and it's blown me away. I can't imagine how much better it's going to be. But it really reinforces, Lynette, what you've been talking about for so long. And that's what I think is great, because we're at a miners conference. If you understand that, and they're talking about the devaluation of the dollar, Rick Rule actually talked about the unfunded liabilities with the total debt equaling, and if I can quote him,
you can,
source,
absolutely,
right? $160 trillion, right? And he said the chance of the United States government paying that back is, and he held up this, not 3, a big fat 0. So in other words, they're going to monetize the debt, like Trump has already said he's going to do.
Like they've always done. I mean, that's the thing. It's not this administration or that administration.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I look at everything, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican president in office, every single one of them has moved this fiat money lie more forward.
Right.
Every single one.
Right.
It doesn't matter. But I will say that I have come to understand I may not be interested in politics, but politics is very interested in me. And so that's really the point of coming together in a global community, because there's power in numbers. And, you know, we really have to create an army, because the politicians don't understand money any more than the average Joe. It's not taught anywhere.
Right. Right.
So education is key, and that's why you see so much of what we do here is all about education.
Exactly.
Because after all, how many times can you be lied to when you do not know the truth?
Right. And the thing that I love about going to these with you is everybody's there for real estate. They're there for another reason, mining, whatever. And then when Lynette takes the stage, their minds are just blown away. They're like, oh my God. And that was the important thing about Grant. He paralleled, like I said, bookends.
He did.
He brought everything up that you talk about. So he's already set the stage for you to come in Friday and blow it up.
Exactly. Exactly. So this has been great, but we should probably go to questions, because we're on the road. So Angela Friesman asks, I do have a question. For someone with less than $100,000 to invest, how would you recommend we enter the market? I'm looking to study some traders and copy their strategy rather than investing myself and losing money emotionally. What's your take on this approach? Well, you have to do whatever it is that you're comfortable, but the way that we approach things is we establish what you're really trying to accomplish. So what I would say is call us, have that conversation with your strategy specialist. What are you trying to accomplish? Because if you're looking for a trader in and out of stocks,
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind that the only thing you're going to get from trading, even if you're successful, is this stuff. And 10 trillion, here's my $10 trillion Zimbabwe note. 10 trillion of this times zero is zero. And a trader, I guarantee you this, will not have your best interest at heart. The reality is you are the one that's going to have the greatest impact. So rather than giving it to somebody else, and I don't have my hopium with me, and hope that they do a good job and trade so that you end up with worthless of this, call us. Now, you are a strategy specialist, and we've worked together for 9 years now, okay? So how would you approach it if she came to you with $100,000?
Well, we take a look at where the money is. If it's in cash, CDs, T-bills, whatever.
Or stocks. What if it's in a 401k? Or, right?
Well, yeah,
where
everything's going to be different. We have to find out where the money is located. And then we're putting together a strategy. And the thing that made me think here is she put losing money emotionally. Who wants to lose money? And it is an emotional experience. But if you understand why the people here are talking about gold, and Lynette included myself, is gold is money. Everything else, boom, monopoly money. And we were talking about this before we even opened. What's the difference between this and this?
You accept this to work for,
right,
but I can't buy even one egg with that.
Right. And when I talk to people, I always say that gold is on sale. This is taking something that has no actual value, and you're buying something that does have value, which is gold and silver. It always has. So that's where I would start. And we're not looking for you to lose money. What we're actually looking to do is to preserve your wealth and increase it moving forward. And I 100% believe that we're in that time frame, especially from the people that talk today. Nomi Prince, Grant Williams, the value of the dollar goes zero. He said, why does gold go up relative to the fact of that? It's because it does have true wealth.
So let's kind of back up, because I agree with everything that you said.
Okay.
But when she's talking about being emotional, I think that what she's looking at is the spot gold and spot silver markets. That is a lie. That if you go back and do your research, the government and the central banks actually said, we will create this spot market to develop a very large paper market that will dwarf the physical market and lessen demand for the physical metal.
Yes.
So if you look at the spot market, and everything, it's this because it's a trading market. It's not real. You cannot get any good valuations from Wall Street. That is not their job. We've been taught that that's their job. And there was a time when it was probably a bit more reflective, but you've got to understand, Angela, if you're listening to this, anybody that's listening to it, pull a bill out of your wallet. Pull a bill out. What does it say? Federal Reserve note. What's a note? It's a promise to pay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to get emotional over somebody else's promise to pay, where if you're sitting and holding this, you know darn well it's going to buy you less and less and less, because that's the design of it. So if you don't want to worry about emotional, get your strategy in place. We look at preserving your current standard of living. We look at properly diversifying any wealth that you've managed to accumulate that is inside the system that you want to protect. And we also look at the debt profile, right? Your fixed rate debt profile. So you can pay that off. And then we put you in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that will present. And it's not rocket science. It goes like this. Gold is undervalued because a rising gold price is an indication of a failing currency. Even at 5,400, severely undervalued at that level. Whereas all of this other stuff, stocks, bonds, real estate, all of prediction markets, it's all a big casino, and all of that is severely overvalued. That's going to flip-flop.
Yeah.
So the real goal is to hold on to your purchasing power so that as that flip-flop occurs and we see that accumulation pattern, that cup formation, then you take some of this and you convert it into those income-producing assets. So if you want to sleep at night, I don't worry about the spot market because I work there. I know it's a lie. And I've dug deep and I know it's a lie. I don't believe lies. You want truth? This is truth. Why? Because there are 33 different global users of gold. There are 36 global users of silver. This is used in one place. Cryptocurrencies used in one place. So let me tell you, when demand goes away for this, well, here's that $10 trillion Zimbabwe note.
I don't want it.
But I got 33 different entities that will buy my gold. You see? And we are shifting toward a real supply and demand market. And that Nomi was talking about that today in her speech.
Huge.
And huge. And I'm going to be interviewing her tomorrow.
Right.
So I don't know when we'll put it out, but I'm going to be interviewing her tomorrow. And I guarantee you, I've already put that on my list to have that discussion with her. I'm excited.
The thing she talked about, that we're in the beginning stages. Get this, everyone. The beginning stages of gold and silver going higher. Did you hear that? Beginning. Everybody thinks gold's at 4,000. You know, it's doubled in 2 years.
But this is my biggest frustration, Martin. You know it. We've had
Mine too.
Yeah, because people believe the spot market and they believe Wall Street.
Right.
When that's not what that's about. That's about trading.
Right.
You don't be a trader. You want to sleep? You want to not get caught up emotionally? Call us. Have that conversation. We will help you define your goals. And then whatever you do after that should support those goals. You don't give it to a trader and then let them do whatever they're going to do.
Right.
And keep in mind, the reason why I can't buy even one egg with this $10 trillion note is because if a government can say this is money, boop, no longer money. So they destroy the currency. That's inflation, which is not a monetary phenomenon. It is a fiat money phenomenon.
Yeah. For the viewers, they may not know who Nomi Prince is.
Oh.
Wasn't she in the Dallas Fed?
No, I think you're thinking, but she was
a trader.
Yeah, she was a trader. No, she was a partner at Goldman Sachs.
Partner at Goldman Sachs. Okay.
Yeah, and it is Dr. Nomi Prince.
Doctor.
So
Sorry.
do not take that away
Yeah.
from her because
Yeah.
she really is brilliant. And if you're not familiar with her work, you know, you might want to look her up a little bit and see what she's about, because she is very brilliant. But it is really interesting.
Well, she said we're heading into a super cycle.
We are.
One in a 100-year, and I've heard it even said 300-year occurrence. And we have the ability to be on the very beginning stages of it. And we haven't even gotten started, is what she said. Not only that, but Grant Williams talked about the same thing, and even Rick Rule. Rick talked about, he had somebody do an assessment of his mining portfolio that he did for years. And they came up with his 10 baggers. A 10 bagger is something that went up 10 times in value. It took 5 years to materialize. But here's the thing. In the middle of it, he said, I experienced the pain of 50% corrections. And he said that was a buying opportunity. And that's what I tell people all the time. This is a buying opportunity. It's not a time to run and say, oh, gold is going down and not coming back forever.
That's what they're using to manipulate you. I really don't. The only reason why I pay attention to the spot market is because you pay attention to the spot market. I know the truth.
Right.
I know that the true fundamental value of this in terms of this crap is somewhere, I don't know, $36,000, $40,000. So yeah, everybody has also said gold and silver are on sale.
Yeah.
Well, when something you buy is on sale,
Yeah.
what do? Go, I'll wait till it goes back
But
up.
that's what most people say when it's gold and silver.
But see, that's it. It's emotional. They're buying emotionally.
Right.
They're believing the lie. And that's why educating yourself, I mean, that is critically important, because how many times can you be lied to when you don't know the truth?
And now is the time to get in, because when it starts taking off, well, many have said, many investors that have been doing this much longer than me, everybody sees it go up and then they'll get in at the top, or somewhere near the top.
Well,
so you don't want to do that. You want to get in before that bull market, everybody loading off and deciding to get in and losing money in their AI stocks or whatever it is. So,
but it's really having a properly balanced portfolio. Because what physical gold and silver is in your possession is a foundation, a solid foundation. If you're doing things like stocks or ETFs or anything like that, that could be considered an opportunity, right? And then up at the top, what do you have? You have permission. You have your bank accounts, your brokerage accounts. If they say, no, you can't access it. So I really want you to think about that, because if you lose that second layer, those opportunities, your stocks, your intangible investments, and you lose your permission to access the wealth that you're holding in the system, but you have gold and silver outside of the system, you've got a nice solid foundation to build on. If you lose all your principal, what are you going to rebuild with?
I like what you said. You lose permission, and some people are losing permission.
From
BlackRock.
5%.
You can't pull out more than 5%. We've seen many people that couldn't get money out of their bank accounts and the brokerage accounts. Yes, I've seen it time and time again.
Exactly.
That's not a fear tactic. It happens. So what? The bank accounts in Canada were shut down.
Yeah, they sure were. That's right.
So you got to do it before
you prepare, right? And I'm telling you, I don't care if I'm 20 years too early.
Right.
I just don't want to be 1 second too late, because that difference is everything. That's the difference between sleep. I don't care. I mean, I don't own any of the stocks or any of that stuff, because I understand what's going on, right? But so I'm telling you guys, and it's an absolute fact, I am all in on physical gold and silver, period, end of discussion. And I sleep very well at night because I understand the truth. So don't take my word for it. Don't take Martin's word for it. Call us, do your due diligence. And guys, when I do my work, I always give you all of the links. Follow them. Ask questions. Even if you totally disagree, let's have that conversation, because this is a community, and the community gathers around each other to help each other through it and share the gifts that we've been given. Martin and I have worked together for 9 years. He knows a lot. He's very talented. And if you guys come to the live regularly, you see clients of his say, Martin's great. Although I get it with all his strategy specialists, which frankly makes me really happy.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, before we move on, an interesting thing. I did a follow-up strategy review with a client last week. So he bought in March of last year. Gold was $3,100.
Okay.
It was a little over 4,000 when we did the review. So the chart that you love, the purchasing power index.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yes, it is. I love it too. So I pulled that up and I showed him a 5-year trend and the last year. So on average, they're saying 6% per year. So we're at 30% loss in 5 years of the value of the dollar. So anyhow, to keep his portfolio parity, if he would have taken everything out, I'm not giving a name, and he may even be watching, because I sent him all the information, and we're mulling it over to do additional protection for his portfolio. But he had $2.5 million, and he bought gold, sizable amount. What if he would have taken all of it Not saying that you need to, but you've done that.
I've done
a
that.
considerable amount. I've
Mhm,
taken a
mhm.
401k and a pension out. I've told everybody
Mhm.
that and converted it.
Mhm.
He would have had to be able to keep up with the price, just the spot price of gold going higher. It would have had to increase from 2.5 to $3.4 million. That's with a 6% decrease in the value of the currency. So did his portfolio keep up with that? I mean,
No, and you
yeah.
know what? That you bring up such an interesting point.
Yeah.
And I actually want to do some work. And now that we have Kelly to help people see exactly what you're talking about, right? It looks like things are going up. And so if that's in your portfolio and you're going, oh my gosh, look at how much richer I am. Except that what you're not looking at is how the value is actually going down.
Declining.
Inflation hides the devaluation. We'll help you understand that.
Right. Exactly. And
Mhm.
that's the, it's not difficult, but that's the hard thing, I think, for people to understand. They see you go up in nominal terms. You always talk about that. And it's nominal confusion because, oh, my portfolio did this. But wait a
Exactly.
minute. If you lose the 6%, and that's their numbers that they tell us, what is the actual loss? I know the gas went up where I live from $3 to over $4. That's more than 6%. So the numbers are
And
skewed. We already
food?
know that. Food
Yeah.
is higher. Housing isn't included in the CPI data. It's
Right.
the owner equivalent rent. They changed that years ago.
Right.
Who goes with that, you know?
Well, I don't know. If you were going to rent your house from yourself, how much would you
Yeah.
have to pay?
Right.
Right.
Instead of the actual 20%, you know, prices in the last 5 years.
Right.
So yeah, it's, the numbers are off. I think people know it. They feel it. It's cognitive dissonance. They just can't figure it
Absolutely.
out. It's like the media,
'Cause it doesn't
everything
make
is told.
sense.
And Nomi said that today. The media has a big part to play in keeping people unaware of what's actually going on. And I was surprised that she said that. She really brought out some good key points.
Well, yeah, it was President Reagan that formalized that the perception management program. I mean, governments have been doing it forever. That is actually nothing new. But he was the one that changed the rules, which they do and they can, and brought Rupert Murdoch over to really develop and institute perception management. And you've got the same entities. There's, I think, how many? Like 6 entities? I have to go back. I haven't looked at this in a while.
That own the news media?
Correct.
Yeah, 6. I believe 6, yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
On all the major radio, newspaper stations, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's totally controlled.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can believe the lies or you can break out of that matrix and you can you do your own due diligence. Don't take anybody's word for anything and call us. We are happy to provide that. And you'll take the links. You'll see where we're talking about the Federal Reserve or the IMF or what, depends on what data and what you need to learn and what you're getting taught. But we'll give you the tools. And if you disagree with us and you have a different opinion, we will fight for your right to have that opinion. That's how you make educated choices. And honestly, you cannot count on some other entity over here that's going to trade for you to have your best interest at heart.
Right. Everything's packaged together today and they get quarterly and annual bonuses and
yeah.
No.
Okay. So Campbell Ellison asks, as always, such great information and presentation. Thank you very much. I recently bought a lot of 50% silver coins, old New Zealand currency. Are they high enough in silver to be useful for barter? 100%. And actually, I bought some too when I was in New Zealand recently. So yes, absolutely. I mean, in the US, these are the dime cards, right? But so we had 90%. It wouldn't matter if it was 5%. If there's silver in it, it has value. If there's gold in it, 9 carat, in the US, mostly we do 14 or mostly 14 and then some 18%. And then in India, they do like 22%.
Right.
So I bought some, which it's gorgeous. It looks so gold.
Yeah, you bought that shop. Yeah, in Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, no, in Thailand, I actually bought silver. And I took it to a silver place to test it because it was so cheap. I thought, I'm getting taken here. He tested it, said, no, it's 92%. And I acted like I was going to sell it. I said, give it back to me. And then I went and bought more.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Question, New Zealand, when did they take silver out of their currency? Do you know the year?
Okay. I would have to look.
Okay.
I would have to look. I don't know
Okay.
that at the top of my head. And where were we? We were in the town where the jeweler made the ring for Lord of the Rings. And there was it was a little shop, and he was taking like some of the old flatware that had some silver in it and turning that into stuff. It was fun. I love New Zealand.
Yeah. I'm just curious because
1947,
1947,
New Zealand took the silver out of the coinage. Look, this is how it works.
Yeah.
They have all right, we had gold in our system, but they printed so much of this crap. There were more claims against it.
Right.
So it was too expensive because they devalued the currency so much to continue to create gold coins. Right. So first they took it away from the public because we should not have any power. Look, we better take our power back. We better get redeemable gold back in the system again. But then they did the same thing with silver, right?
1964.
Yep. So, I mean, and they just did it with the penny.
What about copper 1982? And then you do away with copper in 2025.
That's the penny. But the penny wasn't even copper.
No,
it was And what it cost them 3.9 cents to make a penny that wasn't even copper.
Right.
So the cheaper and easier it is, once you get to a certain point, sound money is not in the system at all because they'd rather print more of this stuff. So it makes it that much more important. But yes, any level, even 9-karat gold, there's gold in their class rings, isn't that what? I think those are the ones that are like 9.
I don't know. Mine wasn't gold because it was too expensive for my parents. So put that out there.
That's okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
It happens. Okay. And Larry Richardson asks, Happy Independence Day. As a beginner, I faced heavy losses trying to trade on my own. No matter how much I study, my small investments aren't growing. Any tips or recommendations? Yeah, number one, stop trading. Start investing and call us and have that conversation so that we're clear on what you want to do. Build that solid foundation with the physical. Then if you want to trade, rock and roll hoochie coo. Because it's always about what if I'm right and what if I'm wrong. And if you can do something that doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong, that's what you want to do. So we do not advocate trading. We do not think short term. We look at what's happening with this stuff. And I mean, you can look, you don't have to take my word for it. Go on the FRED, the Federal Reserve Education Department, FRED, and in the search bar, put purchasing power of the consumer dollar. See for yourself that officially we have 0.029 cents left in purchasing power out of the original dollar. But we're going to schedule this because that's official. And I do so many studies where I go to the BLS and I can be, and it works because I can go back to 1913. I can go anytime I want for the same food basket. And so it's consistent.
Right.
But when we get back, we're trying to get approval from a grocery store where we're just going to go buy that cart because according to the BLS in 2026, it was the BLS 100%. Wait.
Tell them what the BLS is.
Oh, Bureau of Labor Statistics. There's Jacqueline. She points me in a direction and I go there. We all know that. But yeah, that's the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And we're going to buy that food basket because in 2026, they're saying that the average price of a loaf of bread. So this is their inflation. You got to understand, they're using these numbers to gauge the level of inflation. $1.08
for bread.
for bread. That, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is
Where?
I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to
Yeah.
go to the grocery store and we're going to just test that.
I don't think
Because-
it's $1.08 at the dollar store. I don't even know if they have it at the dollar store. But
I don't know
you can't buy
either.
bread for $1, I don't think.
Well, I can't. I'm actually really looking forward to doing that. That's
Yeah.
going to be
I
fun.
love your bread video.
Thank
That
you.
really is powerful.
If you haven't seen it, go in and watch it, because it really is. How many loaves of bread? This is $1.
Yep.
Right? This was at one point, this is also $1, 1/20 of an ounce, 1 ounce of silver.
$1.
Yep.
Well,
And there's a silver certificate.
That's a big one.
Right? Yep, that's a big one. And actually, I'm glad that you pulled the silver certificate, because you could walk into the bank with this and walk out with that. It
Right.
didn't have as much, you couldn't make as many claims on it. Silver's the secondary currency metal. Gold is the primary. But look at the picture in there.
Yeah.
Pretty similar, isn't
Similar.
it? Pretty similar, isn't it? Right? This is how they make the changearoos. This is sound money, right? This limits how much can be created because there's a finite amount of it. This is a claim on sound money. This, my friends, is debt. Promise to pay. Choice is yours. You can have all the promises you want, but promises can be broken. Just saying. This is a promise that cannot be broken. And even this little teeny, how many loaves of bread can I buy with this $1 gold coin?
A lot.
I think the last time I checked, which was a long time ago, even
Right.
before the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like, I don't know, 158 loaves or
A
something.
lot.
I don't know.
You didn't have enough. You didn't have enough room to put it on
Yeah.
the table. I don't even know if you had
Yeah.
that many loaves. But
So please, I know that we have been encouraged to think shorter and shorter and shorter. Oh, that happened 10 seconds ago. That's old news. That's not really true. They need you to have that short-term trading mentality. Wall Street is just a big casino. Is that really what you want to depend on? Not me. In gold and silver, I trust, because I hold it and I own it outright. And according to the Bank for International Settlements, gold is the only, gold held at home, is the only financial asset that runs no counterparty risk. And the Bank for International Settlements is the biggest bank in the world. It's a central banker's central bank. So the biggest recommendation I can give you is stop trading. Call us. We will help you understand everything. Start investing in your future and build that solid foundation. Then you want to trade? That's up to you. You got to do what you're comfortable with. But it's not been working out very well for you, has it? Because the deck is stacked against you. I want to stack the deck for you.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I agree.
Oops.
2 questions, that's it?
Was that it? Wait, 3.
3.
Huh?
iPad must have gone offline.
Oh, the iPad must have gone off. As you know, we're doing this live because this is the commitment that we have, is
Right.
to always be here for you.
And we can talk about central banks purchasing of this.
Yes, go
Record
ahead.
amounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
The last quarter, record amounts. Why? If gold is a relic that nobody
Okay.
wants, why are they buying
Thank
gold
you.
in record amounts? I always ask that question. Nobody
Yeah.
has the answer. But
Well,
it
who
would be
knows more about what
about-
they're doing to this stuff
Exactly.
than central banks?
Right.
Okay. So let's see. Oh, thank you, lifelong learner lady. She said I look pretty today. Thank you. Pretty pink. Okay.
We had that.
So I think we are with Ernest DeBella, rock and roll hoochie coo, Ernest. With the speed that the government and banks can do things with today's tech and the impending effort to switch to CBDC, what difference do you see coming when they try to reset this time versus previous resets? Actually, when you look at the patterns, they look the same. And you're right, because technology has sped everything up. And I do easily see a way where we can incorporate sound money into the global monetary system, even if it's inside, I don't know about a CBDC, but a digital currency of any kind. Because remember, in the US, we're not going to have a CBDC. We'll have stable coins.
Yeah.
What's a stable coin? You want to talk about what a
I
stable
know.
coin's about?
Well, stablecoin is a corporation that you buy the coin through, but then they in turn have to buy U.S. treasuries to make
Right.
it good.
And
Yeah,
they're
so-
backed 1-to-1 by dollars. So it's
Right.
really just a dollar iteration.
Right. It's another way to kick the can down the road.
Right.
But the fact that you are giving your money to whatever company it is that creates the stable coin that has to make good with U.S. treasuries, they have
Mhm.
ownership of it, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to give you anything out of it.
Mm-mm. That's the whole thing with permission, and people don't realize it. But access is not ownership.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
And
for
promises-
the benefit only.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, Ernest, when you're saying this, and I'm looking at the patterns back in, let's say, between 1913 and 1971, and I'm looking at the patterns that go today, they all look the same. So, and it makes, honestly, it makes having physical gold and silver money outside the system that much more important. But I also want you to keep in mind that you need to create that surety in food, water, energy, security, barterability, which for me is primarily silver, but not completely. Wealth preservation, which for me is primarily gold, but not completely. Community is arguably become the most important thing because you need to create surety in all of that. And shelter. You need to make sure that you can be as self-sufficient and independent inside of community as possible. Because if we don't do this, and you've got all of your wealth inside of the system, and they tell you to jump, you're gonna have to say how high. Whereas if you've made yourself independent and they say jump, you can say nope. And if we can get 3% of the global population to say nope, we can have a say in the next system. And this is our opportunity. If we blow this, I don't know when the next opportunity is going to be.
I don't know that there will be one.
Well,
If they can lock it down, I don't think they're going to. It was an interesting Cry Wolf presentation by Grant.
oh,
Right?
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh gosh, that was so deep. It was so quick. I was like, oh, hold on. I can't stop his presentation.
It was
but-
Cry Wolf.
yeah.
If you guys have not seen it, he did it
Yes.
in 2018. And then he updated it today. But you know what's kind of interesting about his presentation? I was able to follow it very easily because when I was in New Zealand, I happened to watch this nature thing, and they
Right.
talked exactly about that.
My gosh, that was powerful.
It was very
Yeah,
powerful. It
Yeah,
was very
really,
powerful.
Really opened your eyes to, well, what they did to the U.S. dollar, pulling gold out of the system, having it just free float, and then he equated it to Yellowstone, right? And the
Right?
wolves
Go
being
ahead.
removed.
Yeah.
You can probably do it better than me, but the wolves were removed from Yellowstone because they were predators, and the farmers thought that they were going to get their sheep eaten, and the whole problems that come along with that. And so it was 1994, I believe, but there were a lot of.
But here, let's back up for 1
Okay.
second.
Yep.
Okay. Because what I'm going to put this down, because what also happened during that time when they got rid of
Oh,
the
yeah.
predators,
Yeah.
right? Then the deer and the elk and kind of went in and cleaned out, ate all of the
Yep.
foliage, and that had an impact on the water supply. And so the area was dying.
Yeah.
Now go back.
The ecosystem.
The
Yes.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing when they took gold out of the
Right.
monetary and silver out of the monetary system. The same thing. The atrophying of the system is
Yeah.
happening.
Yellowstone turned into almost a desert because, like you said, the rabbits, the deer, the antelope, they'd eaten all the foliage around the water. Everything was decimated, so the water wasn't able to stay contained within the river and it just kind of spread out and was dying.
Exactly.
So they reintroduced the wolf.
Mhm.
Should we tell them? It's
Yeah,
the
go
whole-
ahead.
well,
and then they
have
can
to
go on.
and take a look.
Well, you have to go on. You
Okay.
should go and watch
Yes,
this
you have
because
to
it
watch
was
it.
really powerful.
Yeah, but when the wolf was introduced, it was a small breed of wolves, and immediately the impact was
Mhm.
huge. Everything within months started reconnecting back to the original environment.
Mhm.
So
Give
that's
me chills.
encouraging. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly what is, well, he equated that to the money system.
Right.
And what he thinks is going to self-correct. And it is happening around the fringes,
Mhm.
and we don't even know it. But in 2018, he said the impact was, what was it, 2022, when they started printing money?
20. Well,
When
you lost me.
um,
2022 is when they shifted and started charging more interest.
he said that
Right.
there would be a downturn in the economy, and that's
Mhm.
the signal. And he said a crash, but the crash was avoided in 2022, and
Money
money printing
printing.
went in.
Mhm.
He said it's still on the horizon.
Yeah.
It was just delayed.
Yep.
And
For anybody that's watching, I do
Right.
have my money guns here, but Jacqueline said she was not getting on the floor to pick them up. So we didn't use
I'll
them
do
today.
it. Everybody wants to see that. I've been asked by everybody, has she got her money guns?
Well, here, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yes, you're exactly right. So it was a great analogy,
It was,
and it
yeah.
was true. And it makes you think about things a little different.
Right.
And that's really what we try and do. I know that if you just look at something just a teeny weeny bit differently, it's amazing what you see. I can look at that purchasing power chart, which is my favorite chart from the Fred.
Right.
I don't know how many thousands of times over the years that I've looked at that chart. But depending upon what I'm focusing on, I look at it a little bit differently, and I'm like, wow, I never saw that. How did I not see that before? So that's really, we just get, it's a normalcy bias, right?
Right.
If you look at it, if you look at everything the same way, always, you see continuity, right? You see
Mhm.
continuity instead of reality. No,
Mhm.
continuity is good if it's real, but it's really bad when they're lying to you.
Yes.
Okay. So Colleen Allen asks, when it comes to selling back one's pre-33 US coins, is it easier to sell back a slab coin as compared to a loose gold coin? What is the term for a loose gold coin? Raw is the term. So it's a raw coin. And actually, okay, here's the thing. You want to work with a reputable dealer like Zang International because we have the relationships with the wholesaler. So liquidation of the slab coins is actually quite easy because they know which coin it is. I don't know. Jacqueline, you might be able to answer that question better because she's the president and COO. So if they buy raw coins from us, that's not a problem either, right? Right. Exactly. We just need to, if we know where it came from. Now, if you bought it someplace else and you're selling it through us, which we also can do, it's just that we will have to sell it to the wholesaler so that they can make sure that it is what we're saying that it is before we can liquidate. Is that right?
We
Or
don't have to sell it to anybody, but they do take a look at it.
okay. Oh yeah, we don't have to sell it. That's what you're saying. Correct. So we get a bid and then we let you know. And if you want to liquidate it, boom. But that would take a little bit longer because they need to do an assessment and make sure that it is what you think that it is. But yeah, either way, it's very easy, whether it's raw or it's slab. It's much easier to do it through whoever if you're going to liquidate, to do it through who you bought it from, but you are not obligated to do that. So you can call us, we'll give you a bid, and then you can check it out and do whatever you want to do. It's all about educated choices, and we will support you making them. Want to add anything?
Perfect.
Okay. And George Bawden says, have you seen the news about Rosalind Capital going bankrupt? Will this also do with IRAs linked to the gold and silver in their company? Jessica, do you want to say something about that?
No,
Oh, because you were.
we just received that news.
Oh.
as far as Rosalind.
We'll look into it and we will let you know. See, here's the thing, you guys. If you don't hold it, you don't really own it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, most of the gold and silver are in IRAs because people don't want to pay those taxes. But you need to understand that sooner or later, you're going to pay them. And, you know, I had a SEP IRA. You had all of that, the retirement money.
Yeah.
It comes to a point where I don't trust the system. I know it. I lived inside the belly of the beast. I was groomed for this moment in time, and I don't have an IRA. You, however, must do whatever you're comfortable with, regardless of what I say, because this is your wealth. Well, we'll look into what's going on with Rosalind Capital, and I think Jessica is probably on the other side of this. So could you please hold that for me? And I'll get back to you next week on that. And Nathan Patel, 1786 asks, thanks. Oh yeah. Thanks for the interview with Vault. It was very informative. Quick question. Is the gold insured with the Vault? Do you know that answer? I know that they have a heavy insurance, but I also know that we typically will do additional insurance, individual insurance for it. And it's not very expensive.
And they can even recommend different companies.
And they can, okay, thanks. And they can even recommend different companies for that. So it never hurts to have a little bit. I mean, this is your wealth insurance. There's nothing wrong with insuring your wealth insurance. And yeah, they're great. I've known them for a long time. When I first moved to Arizona, the girls were 6. They're going to be 45. That's how long I've known them.
I remember them on the corner of Rule and McClintock for so many years.
Yeah, they put in a much bigger vault.
Yeah, but yeah, they've been there for years.
Did you want to say something? Oh, okay. Infinite Light Academy asks, I'm a few years older than you, Lynette, and in the UK, I remember decimation in 1971, a complete currency reset, which caused the price of many goods, food to significantly increase. I agree with what you say, so perhaps it's better for those elsewhere in the world to buy sovereigns. I love sovereigns. I own a lot of them. For instance, from the reign of Queen Victoria, rather than recently minted bullion. Yep, there will always be a market for them, even through a bullion house rather than private collectors. There is a huge market for both gold and silver.
Right.
That is probably one of the hardest things for me to get people to understand. I love the pyramid that Kelly did to put it all in perspective with that little piece and then the list of all the users, just that I could count. That's not necessarily a definitive list. That's just all that I could count.
Right.
So thank you for bringing that up because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We did live through the reset. And do you know that in this country, after Nixon took gold away from the world, right, that they did 2 overnight devaluations of the dollar? One a couple months after they did the, well, they don't call it a confiscation, but if you're holding my gold and now you're saying, nope, you can't have it back, to me, that's a form of confiscation.
Right.
You can decide for yourself whether you think that or not. But after they did that, yeah. And then the second one was early in 73.
10%.
10% both times.
Yeah.
So that's 20% to ease it in.
Mm-hmm.
Once you don't have protection, then they get to abuse you. And there's no way, if you don't own physical gold and silver, there is no way for you to protect yourself. I'm sorry. I wish there was another way. And if we don't get redeemable gold back in the system, it's just not the world I want to leave my grandchildren, which, by the way, today is my grandson's 13th birthday. So Warner, if you're listening, happy birthday. You will be getting your birthday poem. Before I go to sleep tonight, you will get your birthday poem. I started on it, not finished yet.
Reminds me of when the euro was brought into Germany.
Good point.
So I had a client from Germany that told me, they were told that they would get €1 for 1 mark. Guess what happened 30 days later? Prices doubled. So you go to the store, you go to the restaurant, and you paid twice as much. So they didn't want to tell you you were going to lose 50% of the value, but that's actually what happened. Yeah.
That actually didn't just happen in Germany. It happened all
over.
around the Union.
Right.
And first what they did is they said, well, we just have to, like in France and Italy, they did a pre-devaluation of 17% before they went into the euro. And then when they went into the euro, if a loaf of bread cost 1 lira, well, okay, it cost 2 lira to buy €1, and then it cost €2 to buy that loaf of bread.
Yeah.
So let's see, that's 67%
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
If you can't protect yourself from it, and here's the thing. I think everybody has to ask if that's okay with them.
Yeah.
If it's okay with you, rock and roll hoochie coo, do whatever you want. If it's not okay with you, then you kind of have to look in the mirror and go, if not me, who? And if not now, when? Because governments will never, and central bank, they're not going to give up their money monopoly. They're not going to say, we've had enough of a good run. It's your turn. You can hold your gold. That goes back to the other question in the UK and buying sovereigns instead of new bullion. I mean, you guys know.
1948.
Yep. That is what my uncle had in his safes, my Uncle Al, at least 3,000 ounces when it was in 1964, when it was illegal to hold more than 5 ounces any other way. I'm sorry, I believe my personal experience with that.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up. That's really an important point. And Larry Richardson says, Happy Independence Day. I think we've done that. Yep, we have. And I think we are pretty close to the end for today. But I hope you've enjoyed it. We have so much more work at Rick Rule. I know we have a dinner tonight, and we have a boat ride. And then tomorrow we've got all sorts of phenomenal speakers. You guys might want to think about coming next year. It's really a phenomenal event.
Right.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And it's just the beginning.
It's the first day.
I know. But so many great speakers, so little time, so
a wealth of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say that I go on live on Friday, and then we will be rushing because I'll be speaking at the Red Pill on Saturday. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jacqueline, please, which she always does, so it works well. But I believe that live stream is free. So that's an opportunity to see lots of great speakers at that event too. This is the first time we've done a back-to-back like this. But how could I say no to either one? These men are legendary. And I'm honored. I truly am so honored to be asked. Incredibly honored. Would you like to say any parting words or anything else you want to talk about?
I'm just excited to learn as much as I can here and bring it back and implement strategies for people, just like Lynette talked about. So absolutely. I think there's just so much.
You know what I want to ask you?
Yeah.
Now, I know I've gone through 2 of my wallets with the dime cards.
Right.
How's your experience been handing out the dime cards? How have people reacted?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, first of all, they just look at it as a dime. And then when they'll ask, what is this number down here? And they say, that's an expensive business card. I go, yeah.
Yeah, they like that.
Yeah. Because
would you explain, because there might be viewers that are not familiar with the dime card.
Okay. So we put together the dime cards, or Lynette and the team did. And basically you have a dime today, which has a value of 10 cents. And that's because
face value
that's
only.
The face value only, kind of, well, anyhow, like this dollar here versus a silver dollar, when you could convert that to silver. Then you have a silver dollar or a silver dime, 1964 or earlier, actually had a certain amount of silver, 0.715 or 725 ounces of silver in it. So you determine the value of it is you have to know the spot price. You do some mathematical equations, but it tells you what the value of this coin is.
In
And
terms of dollars.
in terms of dollars. So this dime, pre-1964, has $5.60 worth of silver in it. Part of the strategy is when we talk to people, that's important to have. That's going to be the most liquid part of your portfolio to be used in the case of barter. Yeah. So, and you said most of your portfolio is barter silver. So is mine, because as the value of silver.
Well, I didn't say most of my portfolio was barterable.
No, your barter was primarily in silver, not gold.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The barter
part
part of my portfolio.
Thank you for clarification.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it was like.
Mine is too, because when silver gets to the prices that many believe, and gold goes to those numbers, you're going to be using your silver.
Well, because at that point, we'll be in hyperinflation, and then people will understand what we're trying to tell you today. But beyond that, remember, if you're a client, you get the first one free, and then you can have as many as you want at our cost to hand out, because you're the army. And give me a little minute after we get back, but on the back is that QR code. And so I believe that I can now do that much better, and I can probably put something together when you go out, and you can get somebody to sit for 2 minutes. And I think that I can give you something that probably wouldn't be much more than 2 minutes that will help them understand what you're talking about and start to help them see the truth. Because I'll leave you with my favorite question. How many times can you be lied to and you do not know the truth? This is really showing you the truth, right? You've got real silver, monetary metal, you got garbage. How many of you, even if you see a dime on the ground, do you even bother to pick it up? Most people don't anymore, but they did at one time, because what are you going to buy with a dime? So, last parting words?
Have a great day.
That'll work. Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, guys. We appreciate you being here, and we'll learn as much as we can from the brilliant speakers that are here and bring all that back to you. So I know that together we can do anything, and we can get sound money back in the global monetary system again and take our power back. And until next we meet, please, wherever you are in the world, be safe out there. Bye-bye.